My name is Danny. I'm 29, and I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. But none sting quite like the night I used my past as a weapon against the man who loved me most. There was no shouting. He didn't raise his voice. I didn't either. No slammed doors, no broken dishes. Just one sentence. One quiet, sharp sentence that ended everything. I keep replaying that moment in my head, over and over, trying to understand how I let something so cruel leave my mouth. I've always known words can destroy, but I never thought I'd be the one swinging the sword. It started like any other night in our apartment. Jay came home later than usual, shirt wrinkled, eyes heavy with exhaustion. He'd been working extra shifts, covering for a sick coworker. I knew that. I knew how tired he must have been. But in that moment, I didn't care. We were supposed to have dinner. Just the two of us. I'd made reservations, planned everything. I wanted one night that felt special, something that made me feel seen, appreciated. But he forgot. Again. He walked in, dropped his keys like it was any other day. "Hey, babe," he said, leaning in to kiss me. I turned away. He blinked. What's wrong? That was all it took. Everything I'd been bottling up exploded. The forgotten plans, the unanswered messages, the way I always felt second to everything, his job, his family, his stress. I told him I was tired of giving everything and getting nothing back. He tried to explain. He said he was doing his best, that he didn't realize tonight mattered so much, that he thought I understood. But I didn't want understanding. I wanted to hurt him. So I said it. Maybe if you treat me the way Ryan did, I wouldn't feel so invisible. Ryan, my ex, the one who gave me gifts, showered me with compliments, made me feel like I was the only woman in the room, the one who loved loudly, even if recklessly. Jay didn't react right away. He just stared at me, quiet and unreadable. Then, in the softest voice I've ever heard, he said, "Then maybe you should have stayed with him." No bitterness, no sarcasm, just surrender. He turned and walked into the bedroom, closing the door behind him, not with anger, not with finality, just softly, like a book quietly closing. I waited, thinking he'd come back out, that we'd argue, cry, fight, fix it, but he never came back. I sat on the couch for over an hour. The TV was on, but I wasn't watching. I was listening for footsteps, the door opening, anything, nothing. When I finally went into the bedroom, he was gone. Some of his clothes were missing, his sneakers, his shaving kit, the one he always packed when he traveled. I just stood there, numb, in the middle of the room. There was a note on my pillow. Just 2 lines. "I love you, but I won't fight to be enough anymore. I deserve someone who doesn't compare me to a ghost." That's when I broke down. Not because he left, but because he was right. Jay was never loud. Never the one to win the fight. He loved through silence, through presence, through everyday things. He held my hand when I got anxious in crowds. He brought me soup when I had cramps. He listened to every version of the same story I told after work, and I kept measuring him against a man who treated me loudly, not kindly. Ryan yelled and bought flowers after. He made me cry, then took me on trips to make up for it. Jay never needed to apologize like that, because he never hurt me like that. And still, I told him he wasn't enough. I told him someone else loved me better. But what I really meant was, I miss feeling special. And instead of asking for what I needed, I punished him for not just knowing. Days passed. No calls. No texts. The silence got heavier by the hour. I messaged him once. "Jay, I didn't mean it. I was upset. You've always been the one who showed up. I'm sorry." He never replied. A week later, I heard from a mutual friend that he'd moved in with his cousin across town. No drama. No new girl. Just gone. It's been almost 3 weeks. I still sleep on one side of the bed. I still listen for his key in the lock. I still wish I could take it all back. But I can't. And if you're reading this, if you're with someone who stays, who tries, who loves quietly and steadily, don't mistake silence for absence. Don't punish them for not being flashy, for not being someone else. Sometimes the loudest love isn't the strongest. Sometimes the quiet ones carry you the farthest. Jay did, and I broke him. If you ever find yourself comparing the person in front of you to someone in your past, stop. Ask yourself, is this really about them? Or is it about what I'm feeling right now? Because words stay. And sometimes they're the reason the person who loved you most walks away and doesn't come back.